The first time I met Fady was at a PAPCA meeting in Harrisburg, and Fady was the facilitator for a work group that I was sitting in on. The work group was was a past work group that we were trying to identify the importance of PAS in preparation for talking to the MCOs about the services that our varying agencies offered.
Fady came up after the session and we started to talk, and I was immediately captivated by several things about Fady, and so that really began a conversation about the things that both of us care about, and might there be an opportunity for us to spend more time talking about those and working together to achieve those goals.
Fady's contribution to embracing the new world of managed care was in raising the recognition of the impact that this profound change represented to the industry. He reinforced the twin mantras of 1, what gets measured gets done, and 2, data equals dollars.
Fady's major contribution is his gift to be a collaborator. He's an excellent communicator, he's an educator, and he's an advocate for not only the consumers but for the providers. And so I see his role as really helping the people who've been involved with developing a managed care product understand the nuances of providing support to a consumer, as well as the nuances of the providers having to provide that support to the consumer.
Having lived with my physical disability for all my life, I learned at a very early age that for whom much is given, much is expected. And I knew that I could not just do what I do on my own, but that I have to engage with the community that I serve.
Wesley Family Services, we attempt to do everything through the lens of mission. And so it's talking about what does it take to empower children, adults, and families by providing transformational care. So I have to say that my conversations with Fady over these years typically start with that. We've talked to Fady about trying to find alliances that we can create, joint ventures, affiliate models where we can come together with organizations, benefit by scale, but the things that are important to the organizations regarding mission or board or our community equity and value, how do we preserve that if we're going to get in a relationship with another organization? So those have been similar to the projects that Fady has been working on. One of the pieces I appreciate about Fady is a blending of friendship and being colleagues and trying to advance mission. And so in this particular situation, we were having some challenges of really looking at it economically and how it could sustain itself. And so it had gone around and around. I was involved in some conversations, others I wasn't. And so at one point, we're at one of our offices, and Fady says, "Hey Doug, can I talk to you?" And I always know that when Fady says, "Can I talk to you?" that there might be something behind that. And so Fady and I put ourselves in a room, and he said, "Tell me again about how passionate you are about mission, because I love to hear about how you like to talk about mission." So I do what I normally do. And then he said, "Are you willing to look at a different financial model in order for that mission to happen?" And once again, I tell the story just because it's Fady's way of being direct, relying on friendship that creates trust in a relationship, and that ultimately we're in it for the same reason. So somewhat of a vague story, but I think it also gives you very specifics of how I really enjoy working with Fady, and I trust him, which is hard to come by in today's world.
The privilege of working with people who experience disability in very different ways than I had. One of those was Marshall, and Marshall was involved with the Center for Independent Living in Philadelphia. But he knew that he had to engage with people on a personal level and understand their needs every time that he interacted with them. He had a very interesting way of doing it. He would bring in about 30 pretzels every morning and sell them for whatever a person could afford to buy them for. And he would always engage the people who brought them in conversation. There were employees, there were other people with disabilities, and there were passersby. And so I watched him and I learned so much from him, but I also learned that the self-determination and independence that Marshall experiences and messages and preaches is one that is an everyday life event. I adopted the motto onward in the past 7 or 8 years because it's got that forward motion and the commitment that whenever we do something together, we are also able to accomplish more as we move forward, and we keep on learning from our baseline experiences and grow with them. So for CLASS and many of the organizations that are supporting CLASS today, onward.
In conclusion, I add my congratulations tonight, Fady. I consider you a friend as well as a colleague, and you are very deserving of this honor. My best to you and your lovely and supportive family. Thank you.
Fady, congratulations. This is a tremendous honor from a tremendous organization, and you deserve every bit of it. And on behalf of Wesley Family Services and the tens of thousands of people we serve, you've also made an impact here. So I hope you're able to have a sense of satisfaction and enjoy this honor because you deserve it, and we appreciate you.
Congratulations. What a great honor. You've had such an incredible impact on my life and career, and I can't thank you enough for everything you've done. This community obviously sees your value as well, and I think it's so incredible that you've been able to rise to the top as a community hero. Love you, Pop.